tell you all something, eh? You gotta fight for what you want. 6 feet behind me is my little kitchen corner. 6 feet in front of me is the door. 5 feet across is my bed. Literally, that's the size of my bed. It's a queen size bed. Another 6 feet that way is the television systems and my bags and so on. This is where I live. Okay? I recently left a home of what? 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 1, 2, 3, 3.5, etc., etc. That was the so-called family house. Toxic. Before that, before I returned to Trinidad, because I squandered all my savings, I lived in one of the most prized areas in Geneva, Switzerland, with a huge apartment from one end to the next, all mine for me and my dog. And you know what I've learned? That does not define me. At first I thought it did, because, I mean, I would go to Burberry and all of the other high-end stores. That's where I used to shop. I was on I only traveled first class or business class, all that sort of stuff. Okay? My aim was to I kept pricing jets. I knew the type of car that I wanted, a Bugatti Veyron. It was only $1 million at the time. The point I am making is, beautiful souls, those things do not define me anymore, and I thought they did at the time. And this is what I had to learn. I am the I am that I am. I am a being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. And you women who are or were in toxic relationships need to understand and get this. You want something, you gotta fucking fight for it. I was in a group recently where a woman who left the toxic relationships, but the others didn't know. I made a comment because she was asking a particular question about how to get help, etc., etc. And I said the first thing that you need to do is find the love for yourself. I have. This is why I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. That's a problem. People don't like that, you see, because they depend on other people's opinion. When you women in toxic relationships depend on your partner, because it could be same-sex couples as well, where the violence is even higher than in heterosexual couples. When you become isolated, when all of your friends and family are gradually pushed away without you realizing, and you only have the knock in your life to depend on, you're up fucking shit creek without a paddle. That is where the self-love comes in. When you don't have it, and when you feel, because it's just a feeling, it's not fact. When you feel that you have to depend on someone else for that, you're in trouble. You have to fight for it. You have to fight against the fear. You have to fight against the isolation. You have to fight against the lack of support, because the knock deliberately isolated you so that you will have no one to depend on. There's always the police. A lot of women have been so brainwashed that they believe that calling the police or going to the police to say that I'm in a domestic violence situation is shameful. What is shameful about that? The statistics are off the scale. Okay? Get help any way you can. The only thing that is valuable is your life. If you want to go on to lead a more pleasant, productive, and loving relationship, that love and respect begins with yourself. You have to find it. So when you find, ladies, that it is too much, that is your I am presence, the being of light inside you, who you naturally are. That is your I am presence saying, this is not love and I cannot do this anymore. The problem here is, ladies as well, is that even in the abusive relationship you claim, don't take this personally, that you still love this motherfucker. That is not love. Love does not have any disrespect in it. Listen carefully. Love, violence, and disrespect have nothing to do with each other. Here's another example, just to ram home my point. A lady wants to leave. She's had enough. The man she's living with in her house has her phone synced to his car so that he can monitor who she's talking to. She works from home. She is the breadwinner. And she does not believe that it's not exactly a violent relationship, because he only shouts in my face and pokes me and it leaves bruises. I have to tell you, that is violence. A lot of you don't seem to understand that this is violence. It is abuse. Whether violence is physical or verbal, it is called abuse by everyone on this planet, except you women who are in it. When knobs, and we just call them knobs because that's the going term. When knobs manipulate you, when they lie, and they are magnificent liars, in order to manipulate you, they feed off your vulnerabilities and they use them against you. You don't even realize what is happening. You feel defensive. But because these motherfuckers are so adept at lying, you don't even realize the truth from the lie. This is the problem in toxic relationships. Too many of you are in toxic relationships. I have observed toxic relationships right here where I'm living now. It's ugly. I'm staying away. You have to decide, ladies, how important your love for yourself is. That is your only criteria. So I would suggest, actually I would strongly urge you, because I'm not pulling any punches. Oh, before I give my suggestion, let me just say this. There was this one woman in another group who told me that I should not be telling the person that they can't do something, because can't means won't. So she said I was being very insensitive. I sat back and I thought about it, and I said, you know something? Let me go with what I know for absolutely sure. Because when I learn things, then my opinions will change. I am not staying stuck anymore in, okay, I know that this is so and this is so. If someone comes up with something else that makes more sense to me, I will go with it. In this particular case, I want you to think carefully of the word can't. And when you use the word can't, Look at what you are saying. Look at how you are thinking. Can't means won't. When you say, but I can't do that, it really means I won't do that. That is what that is about. That is what that means. It's unequivocal. And I'm not arguing, which is what I told her. So this dear lady who clearly has an issue, and it has nothing to do with me, but my words triggered her and I recognized it, so I did not get into the story. I told her that she can take it as it is, and in addition to which, fear, because she told me I was also being insensitive, and that, so I explained to her that fear is behind everything that we don't do or don't want to do. Fear is underneath the word we call stress, anxiety, and everything like that. It's all fear-based because we don't know, notice I said we don't know how to move forward. That's it. That's it. So, I am learning as I am going along. And I would suggest to you, ladies, that you quietly pack up all your important papers and plan it. At the first opportunity, you take your paper, you grab your papers. If you have children, you take your children, you hail a cab, you beg a neighbor for a lift, or you drive to the nearest police station. You call the national, in the US, you call the National Domestic Violence Hotline and have them take it from there to get you support, shelter, assistance that you need. Do not stay in these relationships. Yeah, it's easy for me to say. Some of you might be thinking, I lived in one in the family house for 15 months. I was going to say of pure hell. The last 12 months was pure hell. And it was very hard to leave. So believe me, I say it clearly. You want a better life for yourself. Self-love must be at the top. Self-love must be at the top of your agenda. You do not want your children to live in this situation. And let me tell you one statistic. Children who grow up in domestic abuse households, whether it's physical violence or psychological, they are very sharp. And guess what? According to statistics, those children are 15 times more likely when they grow up to end up in an abusive relationship as well. I want you parents to think about that, because you don't stay for the children. That is nonsense. That is violence, and that is doing wrong to the children even more. Don't do that. It's time that you start thinking of yourself, and since these children are innocent, you need to put their needs first. Ciao.